righty. So we're going to go ahead and get started again. My name is Derek Hawkins. I am your host for this evening. Again, I am a part of a group of people who are on a mission. We're on a mission to eradicate bad health and bad debt in our communities. As you know, there's a lot of things happening around the country, around the world. Unfortunately, some which we don't have control of. But the bottom line is there's always a solution again. But I have a question for you before I get started. We're going to talk today about your wealth. When I talk about wealth, I'm talking about your health because your health is your wealth. And think about it. Would you rather have $1 million, but you're on medication, you're constantly back and forth to the hospital, you're in pain, you're taking 10 and 12 different medications. It's just your health is just poor, but you have a lot of money. Or would you rather have just good health, where you don't have to take medications, you don't have to go back and forth to the doctors every week and try to figure out what's going on with your body. You don't have to get mistreated, misdiagnosed, and wind up getting even worse. But what if you had a chance to actually have both? Your physical wealth and your financial wealth at the same time. Well, guess what? We have a solution for you, and you're going to find out about today. So we like to start our presentation by asking you a simple question. Have you been patched yet? And I know it sounds weird, but again, you see the patches on the young lady's arm. That is about the size of a quarter. That is a stem cell reactivation patch. It actually elevates, activates, and regenerates your stem cells. And you're going to find, I'm going to share with you why that's important. And before I get started, let me just get a mute. We're going to go ahead. I'm going to show you a short video. The video is only about 3 minutes, but it's going to explain to you. It's going to give you an overview about what I'm going to talk about over the next 30 minutes or so. But after that video is over, I'm going to come back and share with you what is this patch. Why is it getting such attention? What does it do? How does it help? How does it help me? Each and every one of you can benefit from this patch. I'm going to show you how, where you can get it. And then after that, for those of you who are so inclined, even though we're going to talk about your health, your physical wealth, that's what this patch is really geared towards. It has literally changed lives all across the country. You're going to have some live testimonies, but what if you had an opportunity to generate some income by helping other people get healthier? Well, that's what you have in store for you. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to play this short video. Again, it's about 3 minutes. Again, after on the other side of that video, I'm going to come back and share with you how you can take advantage of it, how it works. And we're going to answer hopefully all of the questions. By the time I'm finished, there's one thing I can guarantee you. You will never ever be able to say that you didn't know about the patch. And again, your life will be changed, particularly if you take advantage of it. So let's watch this short video, and I will see you on the other side.
In a world searching for answers, one discovery is changing everything. A patch, no bigger than a quarter, built not to treat symptoms, but to wake up the healer inside you. This is X39, a wearable, light-activated patch. Designed by David Schmidt, an inventor with over 200 patents. His mission? To reverse aging naturally. This isn't science fiction. It's stem cell activation without injections, without pills. Your body repairing itself. The results? Life-changing energy, recovery, sleep, relief. And the medical world? It's taking notice. Still skeptical? Visit thisisaninfo.com. You'll find the studies, the patents, the proof. It's all there. But there's more. This tiny patch isn't just transforming lives, it's creating freedom. Because behind it is a business model built for the bold. Real people, real results. Income that scales with impact. And here's why. Because this breakthrough technology is patented and exclusive, it offers a lucrative business plan that allows you to compound your efforts. More people than ever are struggling in today's economy. You can no longer rely on your own sweat equity alone to make a living. This business model allows you to duplicate yourself and even better, to benefit from other people's efforts. So your income no longer depends solely on you. By duplicating yourself over and over, the income potential is far greater than a conventional job, career, or profession. And you're never alone. The This Is It system gives you the tools, the path, the team. All you have to do is start. The question is no longer if it works, it's whether you'll act or let this moment pass. Will you keep waiting or finally feel your body come alive again? Will you stay financially stuck or build something that lasts? Isn't it time to start living life on your own terms? The This Is It action plan will set you on a path to live out the dreams you have for your family. Get back with the person who shared this video so you can experience the age reversing health and the exciting lifestyle that thousands are already enjoying. This is the technology. This is the team. And this is your moment. This is it.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the video. Hopefully explain it to you. So let me talk about this patch and give you some information that can help you make an informed decision as to why you should take advantage of it. The CEO of the company and the inventor of the patch, his name is David Schmidt. David Schmidt has over 200 patents. I want you to think about that, 200 patents. And this is not David's first rodeo. Over 21 years ago, the U.S. government hired him, particularly the Navy SEALs. They asked him if he can develop a technology that will help the Navy SEALs because they were developing a new submarine. And they wanted them to be able to stay alert. They wanted them to be able to stay alert without having to take any drugs, any injections, anything that would be long, that would have long-lasting effects, any drugs. So he created his first patch over 21 years ago that provided them the energy they needed to stay alert for more than 36 hours. Now, he's a scientist and an inventor. He specializes in age reversing technology, and back in 2008, he focused his attention on stem cell research because stem cells were very, very popular. People were getting stem cell injections, but there are a lot of challenges with stem cell injections. First and foremost, you're putting a foreign body into your body. It's illegal in some places. It's very costly. One of our uh, people that used the patch, they were about to go to get a stem cell injection. It would cost them $24,000 per injection, and they needed to get four in 1 year. Fortunately for her, she found out about the patches before she had to go that route. And some people have to literally go out of the country to get stem cell injection because it's not legal in some places. But the bottom line is there's no guarantee that it works. It's not covered by health insurance. And again, it's very costly. The average person will not be able to afford stem cell injections. However, David, again, focused his attention on stem cell research and he created a patent. It took him 10 years and $4.5 million to bring it to market. Now, think about that. He spent 10 years of his life and 4.5 million of his own money to bring this thing to market. Now, this is a patent on this technology. If you want to look it up, it's a wearable phototherapy apparatus. It produces beneficial effects to the human body, such as activation of stem cells. I'm going to tell you why that's important in a minute. Improvement in your strength, improvement in stamina, pain relief via a non-transdermal container. That's right. The non-transdermal container we're talking about is that tiny patch about the size of a quarter. Now, that is the patent number. And again, for those of you who want information, we have a website that has all of the details if you want to look it up. Now, again, in addition to the patents, why is it important to have your stem cells reactivated? Now, I don't know about you, but did any of your doctors ever tell you that by the time you turn 30, half your stem cells go dormant? They're not active anymore. By the time you turn 60, less than 10% of your stem cells are active. Now, the reason that's important because stem cells make up every organ in your body. So think about that. Everyone in the world needs what we have. But we only place you can get it from because we have a patent that lasts another 15 years and it's exclusive to get it from us. Again, the less stem cells you have, and the more the less active they are, you age quickly. And that's why we age quickly. We don't heal at all when we get older again. So that is why it's important to reactivate your stem cells. Now, in addition to your stem cells, there's something in our body called a copper peptide. A copper peptide is a protein in our body. Back in 1973, there's another scientist, his name is Laurent Picard. Lauren discovered that if you can figure out a way to activate your dormant stems, your copper peptides, it will wake up those dormant stem cells. And guess what? After 38 trials, on trial 39, David Schmidt figured it out. He broke the code, as we say, and he created something called X39. Let me tell you how this X39 patch worked. It is a proprietary form of phototherapy. Proprietary because we have a patent on it. No one else has it. No one can have access to it for another 15 years. It's a nanocrystal technology. Nano simply means very small, and the crystals include the ingredients, which include organic salts, organic sugars, and amino acids. No chemicals or drugs or stimulants in it, unlike the pharmaceutical cartels, as I call them, because if you think about it, people are getting recommended for drugs. A lot of times the side effects are worse than the actual impact it's supposed to have. And if you've ever seen on any commercial about a new drug, did you notice that it's always very bright and cheery? Everybody seems to be just happy and gay in those commercials. And they tell you all the benefits of taking this new drug, but what the big print giveth, the small print taketh away. You see the side effects. I've seen side effects that say the side effects could be cancer, it could be heart attack, stroke, even death. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't like those odds. And as much as I have a lot of respect for doctors, but they spend most of their time when they learn it and becoming doctors, they learn about treatment. About most of their what they learn about is how do you treat something after we figured out what you have, not prevention. Reflects light to activate your dormant stem cells. It is non-transdermal, which means it does not penetrate the skin. There are no stem cells in the patch. It is non-invasive. And I'm going to give you an analogy of how the patch works. When you think about getting vitamin D, I remember as a kid, my mother would say, go outside, boy, you need some vitamin D. You need some sun. Now, we don't get vitamin D from the sun directly. We get it from them indirectly because when the sun hits our body at a certain wavelength of light, that light activates vitamin D because God has given us a body to heal itself. The vitamin D is already inside of us. We just needed something to activate it. And that's what the sunlight does for us. Well, guess what? The patch works the very same way. When you put the patch in your body, it reflects the light that's trying to leave the body back inward at a certain frequency. And that frequency wakes up the copper peptides. And as I said earlier, once your copper peptides are woken and stimulated, it activates dormant stem cells. And this is proven without patent. And that's the great thing about it. Now, to wonder how it works, if you think about how people can see you at night with night vision goggles, they can literally see someone a mile away. They can find lost animals. They can search for enemies, lost children. The bottom line is the reason they can see you in the dark with those glasses because our body gives off heat, energy, and light. We are light beings. You think about how this world was created. What was the first thing that was said? Let there be light. In light there's light. That's why plants move towards the light. That's why you can't live without the sun. So the bottom line is when you put this patch on your body, it reflects the certain wavelengths of light back inward at the right frequency and wakes up those dormant stem cells. And guess what? Once your stem cells are awoke, guess what? It starts to go to heal and identify what it needs to be healed. And that is the power of this patch. Let's talk about the benefits of the patch. Again, you can achieve optimal health, as we talked about earlier. That is your wealth. It is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being. You increase your strength and reduce inflammation, increase in stamina, energy, and vitality, mental clarity. It restores muscular skeletal conditions. It improves your sleep and it improves your skin appearance. And again, these are just some of the things that you're going to experience. I've experienced all of these things because I've been wearing it for a while. The effect is cumulative. So the longer you wear the patch, guess what? The more benefits you get. Now, I must add that LifeWay products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or medical condition because it is not a drug. It is a technology. So we are registered. We don't have we're not registered or I'm sorry, regulated by the FDA, but we are registered with them because we want to let them know what we're doing. But we don't have to be because there's no drugs or chemicals, and you don't have to worry about overdosing or taking which drug with which drug and what the long-term effects are. Okay. Let's talk about the long-term results. The first thing that happens is in the first couple of days or so, 4,000 of your genes begin to reset. If you've ever heard about the studies and the benefits of drinking red wine, they say if you drink a cup of red wine, you can actually regenerate or reset two of your genes. So could you imagine how much red wine you'd have to drink to activate 4,000 of your genes? Incredible. So this happens in the first couple of days. In addition to that, your brain becomes balanced. Your collagen increases. Collagen is like the glue to your body. It is not just for your hair and nails, it's the glue for all of your body. It's in all of your organs. Your collagen increases. You don't have to buy the supplements and take the over-the-counter things that they're selling with collagen. Your heart reverses in age. Now think about it. You have two types of age. You have your physical age. So let's say you're 60 years old. That means you have 60 trips around the sun. You're physically 60 years old. But if you're the kind of person that took care of yourself, you exercise, you ate right, you're active, you eliminate a lot of stress in life, you can have the heart, your vascular age could be 50. And the vascular age is just a measure of how strong your heart is, how well your blood flows. It's a measurement of your true health. But then you can have the opposite. You can have somebody who's 30 years old but they have the body of a 60-year-old because they eat all the wrong foods, they don't exercise, they have a lot of stress. And again, so now you can be 30 years in physical age, but your vascular age could be 40, 50, or even 60. That's why you see some people that are older, they're out dancing, they're skating, they're doing things that people in their 30s and 40s have trouble doing. And then you have the opposite. But the bottom line is your heart reverses in age by about 8 years by wearing the patch. And they say for every decade that you live, at a minimum, you should wear the patch for a month to match that. So, for example, if you're 60 years of age, you should be wearing a patch for at least 6 months, and I would say wear it forever because you're continually improving your body and your health. Who wouldn't want to reverse the age? And as David Schmidt said, Yona, it's not anti-aging, it's age reversing, and that's a quote directly from the uh, the CEO. Now, how do you wear the patch? Very simple. I love it. It's like wearing a bandage. You notice on the diagram you have two locations at the back of the neck, at that spot right at the top, that little knot at the top of your neck, and or below your belly button. Now they did this during the clinical trials because they have to be consistent with where they take the information. And you can wear the patch anywhere in the body, as we say. Put a patch on it. Wherever it hurts, put a patch on it. Now you wear the patch for 12 hours on your body. What that does is you wear it perfectly during the day. So let's say you put it on at 8 o'clock in the morning, you take it off at 8 o'clock at night. It elevates, activates, and regenerates your dormant stem cells. Everybody's body's different. We all have what we call a different black box. Some people will get what you call a one patch wonder. They'll put the patch on, and within literally minutes, hours, days, they'll start to feel and experience some incredible changes. We call those miracles. There's some people that may take a month, 2 months, 3 months, but again, the good thing is because it's patented, you cannot get a patent for something if it does not do what it says it does. Let me say that again. You cannot get a patent for something if it doesn't do what it says it does. So it is working. You may not feel it right away. You might even notice it because it may be working on something that's more dial. For example, it may be improving your heart, your blood levels may be lowered. It could be working on your liver, your kidney. It could be working on a part of your body that you don't necessarily feel, but it is working, and that's proven through blood and urine analysis as well. Now, after you wear the patch for 12 hours, you take it off and let your body rest. And what starts to happen is your body rests, repairs, and rejuvenates. It's well known and documented that your body repairs itself when you're at sleep, in a sleep state. So guess what? If you're getting better sleep, guess what? You're improving your health even more. So again, that's how you wear the patch. Very simple to wear. Now we have some testimonies. I'm going to see if our gentleman's online. We have a gentleman. His name is Emerson Gibson's out of Greensboro, North Carolina. Emerson, are you online? And if
Yes,
you are,
Derek, I am here.
all right. So if you can go ahead and, if you don't mind sharing your testimony with our guest, let me stop sharing the screen so we can give you full view. All right, my brother, it's all you.
Trying to get one more thing to happen. The
Mhm.
video is not coming up.
That's okay. If the video don't come up, you can go
Yeah,
ahead and
that's
just
fine.
share.
That's fine.
Hmm.
Well, good evening, everyone. First of all, Derek, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to share what I consider a miracle, a minor miracle. Um, and it starts off in a tragic setting in that I was at a funeral at my church on Saturday. And as usual, a lot of times the family has a repast, and I was on duty. I'm a deacon at the church, and so I was standing in the foyer of the church, and I happened to look to my left, and I saw a couple coming out of the sanctuary, and then the gentleman lost his balance. At least that's what I thought he had done. He had lost his balance, and he, was on the ground. And so I went over to help him get back up and help his wife get him to where we were having the repast at. And introduced myself, told him who I was. I said, "Let me help you." And so we walked into the uh, the Family Life Center. And as I was sitting him down, as I was going with him, I realized just how weak his body was, especially on the right side. And being in the industry that I am now in, my brain says, he needs something. I need to do something. I need to get some information. My mind was to get some information to tell him about LifeWave and the X39. So we walked him to the table and got him sat down and situated. And literally, the Holy Spirit says, give him a patch. Give him a patch now. I'm thinking to myself, I don't have any new patches. I didn't bring any today. No, no, no. Give him a patch. So I had it on my wrist. I took a patch off. It was actually an X39, and I put it on the back of his neck. He sat down. They had the meal. I came back and forth, continuing to talk to him. I gave him the information, our little cards about the X39, and I alerted the other deacons. I said, we must help this man, because he did have a little incident. I filled out the report. And then we were waiting for him to leave, and he had some other family members get his car around so it would be much closer to him so that he could egress pretty easily. So we helped him to his car. I made sure he got in his car. I found out that he was a pastor as well, a very nice couple. And so I gave them, if I'm not mistaken, I got their number, gave my the information that I had my number on it as well. And so this was on Saturday. Sunday, you know, and then Monday, I think I called and I talked to them. And yeah, I called Sunday, I talked to them. And so in our conversations, and I was telling them a little bit more about the X39 and what it does and how it works and the mechanics of it. Told them that I'd been on it since February and that how I'm just amazed. And I also told them, I says, we didn't meet by just happenstance. And they says, what do you mean? I said, I was the only person that saw you go to the floor other than your wife. This isn't just an accident. And so I says, I really believe that God wanted me to be there to see you, to try to help you, to introduce you to this product. So um, his wife then asked me, she says, why did you put the patch on my husband's neck? And I thought that was a strange question. I thought she might have thought that maybe, just odd of me to just take off a patch and give it to him or whatever, whatever. And I said, well, I said, actually, I said, the Holy Spirit told me to do it. I said, is everything? She said, everything is fine. We wanted to know what, and why did you place it on his neck? I said, well, that's one of the two places where they did the study at. So therefore, that's the place that I put it. I did not know of any additional health conditions. They shared with me that he's a dialysis patient and that he goes and gets dialysis 3 times a week. And what they shared to me next is what I call the miracle part, because he said he'd been having, when you're on dialysis, my wife is a kidney transplant patient, so I'm very, very, very aware of that situation because I had to walk down the road with my wife as she matriculated through until she got her kidney. You just don't urinate like you're supposed to. And they shared with me that particular day, within 24 hours, he was urinating tremendously more than he had done in the past. And the gentleman became very insistent. Can I get some more patches? What can happen? So Monday, I talked to them, and after I gave them an overview of what the patch did, I told him about the X39. I told him about the X49. He was insistent. I want them both. And I said, okay. He said, but his worry was that he was going to have to wait for the delivery to come before he got patches. I said, I promise you, if you order it tonight, I'll bring you patches tomorrow morning. You'll have patches until it's time for you to until your order shows up. So I did that. I got him patches. He put them on. I showed him how to wear them, when to wear them. I kept in contact with them. They're actually on the line tonight listening to this broadcast, to this Zoom meeting. And I am just grateful to God that He brought us together. The results, the end of the story, we don't know the end of the story. But I believe God, and I believe that the X39 with the advent of activating stem cells is going to see one day where going to a dialysis is not going to be necessary for him, that he's going to receive and regain the strength that he's seeking. Because, like I said, we had an opportunity to sit down and talk about it. And so I just thank God for being in the right place at the right time, following the unction of the Holy Spirit, and them receiving it. Because for me, this is what I call a one use patch wonder. I thank God for it. So that's my testimony for tonight.
Thank you very much, Emerson. I appreciate that. And again, as you can see, we have testimonies almost every day. We have literally hundreds, if not thousands, testimonies that we've experienced ourselves. And again, so we know that it works. Again, and with what's happening around the world and what we have in our hands on, it's our duty to share with people you love and care about, and that's very important. For those of you who want some detailed information about the patch, we have a website called This Is It Info. This site is specifically put together to give you more information. That's it. There's testimonials on the site, the information about the patent, the studies that have been done. There's a presentation by David Smith himself, explaining to you how he developed it. He's a God-fearing man, and he talked about how he called on the Lord to give him these codes that were downloaded to him to figure out how to activate those dormant stem cells. So if you have any questions, again, you just have to go to the site. This is at info.com. You will get all information you need about the patch, the science behind it, the studies that have been done. We even have doctors who are brand partners. Brand partners are people who are, again, on a mission to eradicate bad health and bad death in the community. So if you go there, you'll see that information on the site. Now that was Emerson that you just heard from. That's him. He actually was one of our superstars. He had managed it in less than 30 days actually. And again, that's when it was different compensation. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Now I'm going to play another testimony. This one is dear to my heart. This is my mother. She gets a exam at home. She's 84 years of age, 9 kids, surgery just about every part of her body. She had triple bypass. She had a breast removed. I mean, she's 84 years old. And twice a year, the doctor comes in, the nurse comes in actually to give her exam. A few weeks ago, she called me and left me a message. She was so excited about it. So I want you to hear her testimony, and then we'll go on. We'll move on forward.
Yeah, Derek. I was just letting you know that I had a visit from the visiting nurse, and she took all my vitals and checked me out and everything, and she said everything was fine. And she was so proud of my heart and my blood pressure and everything. She said, "Yeah, you're gonna live to be 100." I told her, "Yeah." She said, "I told her, yeah, I was taking these patches," and I showed her the patches that she gave me, the ones for the South Night and the ice wave. And she took pictures of it because she was saying she was going to check it out. So I said, okay. So she said, well, they doing you some good. I said, they are. Because I said, you see how I am? Because she was talking about how good my heart was beating and my pressure was good. So, really feeling good about it because they seem to be doing pretty good. Okay.
All right. And you got to know, if you can help your mother, here's some other testimony I'll go through real quick.
Because I used to have 3 intense hot flashes an hour. Now I only have maybe 3 light ones a day. I used to have really intense night sweats. Now I wake up dry, full of energy, alertness, clarity, and full of vigor. I love my wearable technology.
Ms. Gwen, I suffered from chronic sciatic nerve damage for 48 years. No relief, no matter what medication I took, I still was in chronic pain, back pain. After being introduced to this patch over 18 months ago, they put it on my back, and within 5 minutes, my pain left, and I have been pain-free and excited about life ever since.
Hi, my name is Jeffrey. Diabetes, congestive heart failure, stroke. I suffered all these issues in a matter of just over 14 years. The doctors prescribed a congestive heart failure to me, and I had a pacemaker defibrillator. They told me I wouldn't walk. They told me I couldn't talk again. I was able to learn this all over again. But fast forward, after wearing this patch, the diabetes is at a normal A1C level of 6.9. The congestive heart failure is now gone. The stroke, I no longer have the paralysis that I had before with the use of the left side of my body. I'm so excited. This patch absolutely works.
Hi, I'm Wendell, and I suffer from a condition called atrial fibrillation. And that condition causes me to have 3 major strokes. And the doctors, all of them told me I would live with that for the rest of my life. That wasn't a good quality of life at all. But something with this new technology, when I tried it, it began to work. And within 6 months, it had corrected my life. What I mean is this: my PCP and my cardiologist say they see no evidence of my AFib anymore. I can speak better, I can talk, and I was in the scooter after those strokes. Now I can walk better. I'm doing things that I wasn't able to do. So now I have a better quality of life. Please do me a favor. Go tell everyone about it. Tell your family, your friends, everybody, because guess what? You deserve it, and we deserve better quality of life. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lauren. 2 surgeries, constant pain, hypothyroidism, and always exhausted. That was me as a college softball athlete. I began wearing this incredible patch. Now my hip and shoulder pain are gone. My energy is through the roof, and I don't even eat naps anymore.
Hi, my name is Janice. I have a son with autism. He's 27. He is, before wearing this incredible patch, he was not cooperative at home. He won't do any task. He's not focused. A lot of obsessive compulsive behavior, hours of obsessive compulsiveness. And after wearing the patch for 1 year, my son is able to focus better. Medications are working well. He is able to do tasks. He's mopping floors, doing dishes, doing laundry, and most of all, he is now calling me on the phone if he needs me. This patch works, especially with autism. Thank you.
Well, do you have, ladies and gentlemen? We have so many more testimonies. Again, I want to thank Emerson for sharing his testimony. But again, what's important in your life? The reason you invited here, obviously, the person that invited you cares about you, wanted to share with you something that literally can change your life physically. There's no doubt about it. It's proven, it's patented. It's important. Is your family time important? Well, guess what? You need good health to enjoy your family time. How about security? How about being able to live long? How about avoiding a surgery if you don't need it? How about getting rid of all those medications that tend to keep us and prisoners to the pharmaceutical agency or the pharmaceutical cartels? I've heard them. How about travel, better health, and less debt? Again, we're on a mission to eradicate bad health and debt. So I'm going to talk about now, shift gears a little bit. I want you to put on your business hat in the next 5 to 10 minutes. I'm going to show you the opportunity, how you can take advantage of what we're doing. We're looking for people to help us expand. Let's talk about how the opportunity happens again by creating solution. We are a solution. What are the current problems? No one knows that stem cells are becoming dormant. How many of you knew, if you're here for the first time, that your stem cells were going dormant? Some people don't even know what stem cells are, but they're going dormant. And even our doctors didn't know that. But so many people are also struggling financially. How many of us know somebody that's struggling financially? We all do. What's the solution? One, stem cell reactivation will help with your problem, particularly your health. And income generating business, again, if you have an opportunity, which is what we have, where everyone has stem cells, everybody needs it. No one has the opportunity. We're the only ones. We have a patent for another 15 years, so it's exclusive. That screams opportunity. It's an income generating business. And what better way to generate an income than if you're actually helping somebody along the way? Okay. Let's talk about the business and why this is a great opportunity. The solution is, again, the growth of the company. Let's look at the growth, the history of this company. This company is 20 plus years old. The reason most of us didn't hear about it is because when the company got started 20 years ago, there was mostly doctors, physical nurse practitioners, people in the medical field, holistic healers. They were using their patches for their clients. They weren't necessarily marketing people. They weren't salespeople. They were simply doing it. So for almost 20 years, they averaged about $20 million per year. But look what happened between 2021 and 2022. The patch was actually developed in July of 2020, ironically around the time that COVID hit. And it took the company with X39 from $20 million to $320 million in that 1 year span. In 2023, it went to $430 million. In 2024, over $600 million. That's over $500 million, and the company's just getting started. Now, right now, we're in a push for $1 billion. That's our goal for 2025. Guess what will happen? And then the company gives 60% of what they bring in back to the people who share this opportunity. So you do the math. 60% of that is going back to individuals just because they're sharing and caring. And that's what we do. Now, the company actually received the #1 momentum reward from businessforhome.org. This company evaluates 6,000 companies around the world globally, and we're #1 in momentum 2 years in a row. Now, if a company's growing at that rate, that means something is really happening. We just won an award. Lifeway just won what's called the 2025 Biotech Breakthrough Award. Thousands of people applied, thousands of countries around the world. Lifeway product wins the Stem Cell Innovation of the Year in 2025. It's the Biotech Breakdown Award program again. So that just shows you not only the company is growing financially, it's helping, it's working and the industry is recognizing what we're doing. Now, LifeWave, again, this is it. We're part of a team. The name of our team is actually called This Is It because A few years ago. There's a couple, 3 years ago almost. Steve and Gina Merritt, they were marketers. They've helped over 100 people become millionaires. They had not done anything for almost 6 years. They were looking for the right opportunity, the right management, and they found LifeWave. And as a result of that, they're responsible. Probably about 60% of the growth of the company is a result of the Dissident team, and we are part of the Dissident team. So we are part of the number one team and the number one company and the number one momentum company in the world. And you have an opportunity to be partnered with us. It's similar to a franchise. You can start with a credit card and actually have your return on investment within the first 30 days or the first week, depending on your own efforts. Everyone building a business for their dreams. That's exactly what we have. There, we have 9 different ways to get paid. I don't want to take all your time this evening, so I'm not going to go over 9 different ways, but let me ask you something. How many ways do you get paid now? And if you work for a living, most like I used to do, I worked for 36 and a half years as an engineer, retired with a decent living. But again, it wasn't income I determined. It was what they figured I was worth. And if you work for a job now, most of you got to drive to work. Maybe you have to commute, stuck in traffic, going to work for a boss you don't like, who don't respect you, around people you don't like. And if you're at a job, most people work just hard enough so they don't get fired. And most companies pay you just enough so you don't quit. That's no way to live. You know, you can make a living, but you can't make a life. But let's talk about just some of the ways we get paid. The first one I want to talk about is something called a binary bonus. And a binary simply means two. You have a left side and a right side. So if you would open up a franchise, you can give out as many franchises as you want. But let's say for the sake of the example, you gave out two franchises on your left side and two on your right side. Those individuals could be family members, friends, anybody that you share with. The great thing about a binary is if you got started this week, guess what? When somebody gets started next week, they have to go under somebody on the left or right. That means there are going to be people joining after you who are going to contribute to your income because everything we do creates what's called volume, and volume is converted into income. You can earn up to $25,000 in our binary on a weekly basis. Think about that. You can earn up to $25,000 on a weekly basis in our binary, and that's one of the ways we get paid. Another way we get paid is by what's called upfront income. So if you're looking to get started today, you can get paid as early as next Tuesday because if you can identify two people who want to get started, they get signed up at one of the ranks, one on the left, one on the right, and you maintain that for 9 weeks. Guess what? For the next 9 weeks, you're going to give you $25 per week just for getting started, just by maintaining that position. What if you got two people on your left and two people on the right? We call that a manager, a two-star manager. The one on the left, if you have one and one, that's one-star manager. If you get two and two on each side, that's a two-star manager. Again, and you're going to earn $50 a week for the next 9 weeks. And that's just one of the ways you get paid. There's other ways too, but it's going to be 9 weeks. You're going to get paid $50 a week just for maintaining that position. Now, the great thing about it is if you're the one who introduced the individual who became a one-star or two-star manager, you're going to get a 50% match of what they earn. So that means you're getting compensated for helping people. The company gives you an incentive to help other people. Because guess what? If you're helping other people, you're helping yourself. Now let's talk about mentor matching bonuses. And again, mentor matching bonuses just means when you introduce someone, you can earn up to $20,000 per person, depending on your rank and where they are. So, just to make it simple, again, if you share with people on your first generation like your children, your first generation in life. So let's say you have 10 children, guess what? You're going to get paid 10 times what they earn. Whatever they earn, you're going to get paid on all 10 of those individuals. There's no limit to the number of people you can share with. But guess what? If your children have children, that creates another generation. That's another level. Guess what? You're going to get compensated for the people on your second generation, your third level, all the way through 6 generations of people. So that means you're getting paid for something that you don't do. Because obviously, if you introduce me to the business, I know people that you don't know. And the people I know people that even I don't know. But the bottom line is just because you're initiated that income, you're going to get rewarded. And we call that a mentor matching bonus where you can earn up to $20,000 per person. Don't worry about the details of it. We train everyone on how this works. We have videos, we have spreadsheets, we have PDFs. So we teach you and show you how this works. Now, the bottom line is this is a system that just duplicates your efforts. So again, if you share it with someone who shares it with someone, what we do is we use the patches. We wear the patches, we share the patches, we give out samples, as you heard. Emerson, he actually shared a used patch, and guess what? It still works. That's the power of the patch. But the bottom line is if you duplicate your efforts, guess what? You're getting paid for something that someone else is doing. We call that leverage. It's like if you already wrote a book You bought the book one time, but every time it sells, you get paid. If you sold insurance policy, guess what? Every time somebody pays their policy, you get paid. So this is called residual income that you can earn through this opportunity. Now let's talk about the difference between a conventional versus LifeWay business. Conventional business, first of all, is high startup costs. If you wanted to start a McDonald's, for example, or a Chick-fil-A or any franchise, you're talking about a few $100,000, but you first have to go to McDonald's University, right? They have to tell you where to put the shake machine, how long to cook the fries, how many pickles to put on there. Don't put more than two on there, but the bottom line is a high cost, high risk. Yeah, it may or may not last. It may not, I see stores opening and closing all the time. A lot of stress. Usually, if you on a business, the business owns you. Long hours, trial and error. Again, it may or may not work. A learning curve. And how about limited earning potential? Generally, you only get paid the time that you spend, so you only get paid while you're working, unless you own the franchise. Now, let's look at a LifeWay business. You can start on a credit card, and it's not going to be a $50,000 business. So you can start. There's no risks. What do you have to lose? You're actually gaining your health back. So it's not really even a question of whether there's a risk or not, because the patch works. Stress-free. You choose your own hours. You make your own schedule. It's a proven system. Again, we are the number one producer team in the company, in the country, and the company is growing. So we have a system in place. You don't have to figure out what to do. You just have to be good at copying. Remember in school, you used to get in trouble for copying other people's work. But guess what? It's the opposite here. And all you have to do is be a good copycat. But you want to make sure you copy and are following the right cat. Okay. Unlimited income potential. And we have that opportunity here. Now let's talk about how to get started. There's several ways you get started to get the patch down. If you buy the patches by itself, you buy a sleeve. A sleeve is a 30-day supply of the X39. It's normally $149.95 retail. Again, that's somebody who just wants to buy the patch and they don't want the discount. But if you want to get a discount, you can buy one of the bundles. The bundles means the more patches you buy, the bigger discount you get. So if you buy the first pack is we call a core pack. It costs $295. You get three sleeves, which is a 90-day supply. So you're getting three if you were to buy two wholesale, retail, you will actually get three for if you get it at wholesale. $295, right? That you get. It comes out about $98 per sleeve. So it looks like discount. If you get the advanced pack, which is six sleeves, you're going to get $535. It comes out to about $89 per sleeve. Okay, and if you get the advanced plus pack, you get 11 sleeves. It's for $975. The price drops down to $88.64 per sleeve. Or if you get the maximum patch, the premium pack, which is the one I most recommend, you get $2,000 worth of patches for $1,750, and it comes out to about $87.50 per patch. So remember, you can sell in retail for $149.95, and you can see the profit just in getting people the patches. Now, there's subscription benefits. One sleeve subscription means that you're ordering a sleeve a month because you need to be on the patches yourself. It's not even an it is an investment in your health. So for $99.95 a month, you're going to get points. Those 77 PV, which is a business volume, that actually is converted into cash when they start to build up. It keeps your points and it earns you four different ways. However, if you want to get paid all nine ways, you want to get on the two sleeve subscription. It's $199 a month. You get the points, but you also keep your points. You earn nine different ways, and you get enough product for two people. You need at least two. Excuse me, one second. You wear the patch. If you ready to sign up, you can get the form from the person who invited you. You fill it out. You put your name. You create a password for yourself. You have your website to go, and you're ready to build your business. Again, for those of you who want more information, go to thisisitinfo.com. But if you want to see our training, we have a website called thisisitteam.com where we teach you what to say, how to say it. The compensation plan is there. You can get a copy of this presentation and do it on your own and share with other people. Everything that you need, all of the tools are there. We even just came up with a new AI-powered app called This Is It Info. I'm sorry, it's called Now. This is it now. LifeWave Now. Sorry, that's the name of the app. Just came out. We're one of the few companies that has an AI-powered app that helps you to use and build your business. Now, before we close out, I just want to see how much time we have left. I don't want to keep you too long. I want to see if my partner's on. And just as a reminder, if you are a guest tonight, do me a favor in the chat, just put your name and who invited you. So, for example, if your name is, let's see who we have in here. If your name is Annie, you can say, my name is Annie. I was invited by Ernie or whoever invited you. So this way we know you were here. And again, we appreciate that time. But again, as we start to wrap up, all information is available to you. We have a weekly Zoom schedule. We have 1 to 2 Zooms every night. So you can actually build a business if you're just good at inviting. If you're a good promoter, guess what? Just get good at inviting people to the call. Let us do the presentation for you. The couple we're doing yourself, that's even better. But we have presentations every night, pretty much. Um, and actually, there's another presentation at 10 o'clock tonight. It's because we do have things happening in the West Coast. So if you want to start building tonight, you have time to invite a few people, get them on that 10 o'clock call, and guess what? You can get the 1 star, 2 star manager before the end of the week, and guess what? You'll get your first compensation the following week because we get paid weekly, and that's Weekly, not Weakly. We get paid weekly, so you want to take advantage of this Zoom that we have on a regular basis. Now, the company gives a lot of incentives. They have a lot of trips. And you can win the trips. And the great thing about this company is you don't have to be a top producer. You don't have to hit the top position in the company to go on those trips. In most companies, you have to pretty much hit the top rank in the company to go. To go on these trips, you just have to get enough points. And how do you get points? You get points by getting customers, getting other brand partners to sign up, by ranking up, by helping other people rank up. So you can qualify for the trip that we have. The qualification started back in October the 27th. It goes into February, so you have time to do so. Earn points by doing it. You can hit by hitting your highest rank, lifetime rank each week. You rank up, you enroll new brand partners, you advance, you enroll customers as well. So again, you too can take advantage of it. And they do this a few times a year, so that's just something, another incentive for you to work towards. Is actually helping you get a free trip by helping others. So now's the time to make your move. And I want to give you an analogy. I don't know how many of you participated in cryptocurrency. If you ever bought Bitcoin, now I'm gonna use Bitcoin as an example because Bitcoin is the main cryptocurrency that's out there. It kind of drives the rest of the market. If you knew about Bitcoin when it first came out, particularly when it was even as low as 5 cents, 1 nickel for Bitcoin. If you had just $1 and you bought 20 Bitcoin, last early this year, it reached about $120,000 per Bitcoin. So imagine if you spent just $1 on Bitcoin and you got it for 5 cents, 1 nickel per Bitcoin. But today it's worth say $120,000. Where would you be today? Many of you may never be on this call because you would be wealthy. And I just said $1. What if you spent $10 worth of Bitcoin? What if you really splurged and bought $10 worth of Bitcoin at 5 cents a coin? Where would you be? A lot of people became crypto millionaires because they was at the right place at the right time. They heard the information, but more importantly, they took action. By the time I heard about Bitcoin, it was about $1,200 per coin, and I still was like, well, I'm not sure. I'm gonna wait a bit longer. But the bottom line is, if you had an opportunity to take advantage of something and you knew about it, and you took action, you would be wealthy. So again, this is your Bitcoin moment. I want you to think about this because in our lifetimes, we are lucky, fortunate, if you were ever in a position to hear about one, maybe two opportunities that could be life changing. For example, if you were one of those people that knew about Bitcoin, you understood it, you took advantage of it, guess where you'd be today? Or maybe you knew about Uber and Lyft when it first started, or Netflix, or Amazon when it started, and you took advantage of it. But how many of us get those opportunities? We don't get them often, and you usually have to hear about it from someone else who's in the circles, or you just happen to be fortunate to hear about it. Well, guess what? You are in a fortunate position. This is your Bitcoin moment. And as I close, I want you to get back to the person that invited you. Let them know on a scale of 1 to 10. Let them know tonight, because we have a saying. It said, "Tell me yes, but tell me no." But make it quick because I have to go. We're not looking, we're not waiting for people. We know this is a proven system, so we're looking for people who are looking for us. So if you see the opportunity, seize it and take advantage of it. And as I close, are you serious about your dream? This is your hope for a future. This is your Bitcoin moment. And as I close, going to close with this question. And I want you to answer yourself. When you know there's only 1 or 2 opportunities in a lifetime that can change your life, ask yourself, is this your first opportunity or is this your last? With that, I want to thank you for joining us tonight. I want you to get back to our host. Let her know what your interest level is. Again, she's just launching a business. You can launch yours the same way. Get off to a good start, and let's go ahead and have and save and eradicate bad health in our communities and actually increase health. And just as a reminder for those of you who are part of the Erica McQueen's team, she has her weekly Zoom call and huddle call at 9 o'clock. So make sure you get on that. For those of you who want to invite others and take a look at it, there's a call at 10 o'clock. and your host will get that back to you. So thank you for your time and your attention. We want to thank you all for your time and have a great evening. God bless you and see you all on the beaches of the world. Good night and God bless.
Great job, sir.
Thank you. Thank you all. Have a good night.
Good night.